Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is another episode of Market Update, and based on the number, I'm gonna tell you some truths about the 10% negotiation nowadays on the market. Okay, so let's go through some of the number of the current market, and then I will talk about whether we can always negotiate 10% off the asking price or not. All right. So let's just dive into the number. Number one that we are going to look at is the active listing on the market as of today is 22,682. Now, if you follow my weekly market update, this number is actually not much different compared to the previous week. However, though, if you compare to the last month, it's actually about 1,000, about 900, 1,000 listing more than the last month. And of course, last quarter is way more, and last year is even worse, right? Because last year we only have about 11,000 active listing at this time. So we have about 10,000 active listing more compared to the last year. The number of listing under contract, 7,431. If you compare to, let's say, if you compare to the previous week, is only about $1,000 less. But if you compare to the previous month, it is actually about 900 contract less than the last month. Okay, so the demand is way less than the previous week, previous month, because of the interest rate. As you know, it just the interest rate recently increased one more time, and of course the number of demand is going to be shrink, and it's going to be like that as long as the interest rate keep high like this. Okay. The days on market, because of the demand lower, is actually going higher as well. The days on market is now 48 days. That is 3 days extra compared to the previous week. The median sale price, surprisingly, is 437,525. It's actually higher than the previous week, right? 436 is the previous week. If you also compare to last month, it is 444. So it's actually surprisingly higher than, it's not much, okay? In contradictory with a lot of people thinking the median sale price is actually going down. As of today, the median sale price is actually increased $1,000 compared to the previous week. Now, when you compare to the previous month, it's actually less than only about 444, 437. So it's about $8,000 less than last month, right? But you see that there's a slow trend. There's the mix, right? When you're talking about the median sale price, it's also depend on the time. So compared to the previous week, we actually see a small increase in median sale price. Okay, the comfort market index is 104.2. This is the overall number. This is the index to show the overall condition of the market. Now, if it is from 90 to 110, that it is in the balanced market. And as you see right now, 104.2 to show that it is actually in a very balanced market, meaning between the buyers and the seller, the negotiation power between the two is fairly the same, okay, in the entire Phoenix Maricopa County area. Of course, we do have to looking at a certain area to see the significant to see the difference between, right? Because some cities the buyer is going to have more negotiation power. Those cities, for example, we're talking about Buckeye, we're talking about Casa Grande, Arizona City, Maricopa City. Those are the ones that is outside, very far away from the central Phoenix area. If you're talking about the Chandler, Gilbert, Glendale, Peoria, they actually some of the cities has actually the seller gain negotiation power a little bit. Okay, so that is the topic of another video. In this video, those are the high level numbers of the market as of right now. If you are interested in a specific cities that you are investing in, that you are buying, let me know, and I can send you more information about that as well. Now, the second part of the video today is we're talking about negotiation, right? We're talking about the market And I just want to emphasize that in nowadays, a lot of you thinking that we can always make it negotiate with the seller, right? Is negotiate with the seller at. Sorry, I'm trying to move this one a little bit here. Okay, we can always negotiate with the seller about 10%, about $20,000, $30,000 less than the asking, right? But is that always the case? Now, we have to be able to illustrate the situation, I do have to show this chart right here. When we look at the charts, there are 4 different colors, and the explanation of the chart is right over here, right on top right here. The only sorry about that. So the one number that is different compared to the 4 different number is the actual sale price. So that one is the price. That one is the price at which the buyers at the end of the day buy the home at. Okay, that is in red color right here. That is the color in red. So that means after all the negotiation, after all the market pricing changes in the market, all the negotiation at the beginning, but the offer price, the inspection and the appraisal, after everything, this is actually the final number. And as you see right now, this is right now the last line compare between the 4. So that is meaning you can see that the final price for the buyers right now is on average is actually very good, right? Because they tend to have a better deal. When you compare to the before June right here, right, you see that the red line is actually higher than the closed list price, right? I'm gonna talk about what that means in the later on. So that means the buyers has to pay a little bit higher compared to the list price, okay, compared to the list price. But as you see here, there's multiple list price: the list price, the closed list price, the under contract list price, and the active list price, right? So there are a lot of difference in terms of list price right here. And why are they so much different? Okay, we're talking about the blue first. The blue is actually the price at which the seller first list the house on the market, right? If it is they're thinking at that time the seller very confident about the home value, right? And at that time they're gonna be willing to list the house at a very high price. That indicate the indication it indicates via the chart right here, right? The blue line is the line is the highest line on the chart, right? That is the very first number come to the seller's mind, and that is the first number that the seller wants to sell the house at. After a certain amount of time, right? After a certain amount of time passed, it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be a month, 2 months, right? The seller is actually lower the price to the real one. That is another list price. So at that time, a lot of buyers think, yep, this is a good deal, and they are willing to go under contract. They're willing to go under contract at that price. So that come to the list price, the under contract list price, right? As you see here, it is lower than the blue line, meaning that the under contract list price is actually less than what the seller expect they can sell the house at. Okay, so that's period number 2 that the seller can do. Now, I gotta be patient with me a little bit. So why I have to talk about number 1, number 2, and finally number 3. Number 3 is actually the average of the list price that already closed. Those houses already sold, right? Those houses already sold. And that is actually less than number 2 and number 1 on here. Why do I say that? Okay, so if you come in, if you see a house on the market that is fairly new to the market, which is number 1 right here, the chance that you can negotiate 10% is fairly easy. You see here the gap right here between the actual sale price and the blue line is actually about 10%. right? It's about 10% right here. From 328.20 to about 280 is about 10% drop, right? However, though, if they already, after some period of time, they already reduce price, right? Reduce $30,000, for example, the chance that you get 10% off from that ask price is very low because they already dropped the price. So you only be able to do about, let's see, a quick calculation here, 280 minus 200. I think it's about 6%, right? After a certain amount of time, you only be able. So if the asking price is at line number 2, you only at 6%, and if it is at 3, right? At the time that the seller already reduced the price multiple times, you only be able to negotiate about 3% of that asking price, after including all the inspection and offer price and things like that. So let me summarize this real quick. So in terms of sellers, there's a journey that the sellers have to go through when they're selling their house, right? They could be listing their house at number 1. Then you can negotiate down 10%, right? If they are tired of the situation, they can sell it to you right away. But if they already list the house at number 2, then you don't expect to have the 10% off, maybe about only 6 or 7%. And if at last but not least, if they list the house at around number 3, then you only have about 3% in terms of negotiation, because that is fairly to because at that price, I assume at that number three right here, there's a lot of buyers are interested in that house as well, because it's very close to the market price where a lot of buyers want to buy the house at. Which is the red line, right? So in terms of negotiation, it is best if you can brainstorming the ideas with the agent, looking at the situation, looking at one specific house to find out where they are at in the journey, in the selling journey, where they are at in the selling journey, whether they are at number 1, number 2, or number 3, to determine the best negotiation strategy. Do not always expect to have 10% from that one number, right? Because that one number could have been already a different number compared to what they originally list the house at. Okay, so that is just a quick this quick market update about all the numbers as of today, as well as the fact about negotiation in today's market by looking at all the numbers of the new active listing, the go under contract, the closed list price, and then the actual sale price. If you do have any question about the today market update, please give me a call. My cell phone number is right below here. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.